And welcome back, everybody. I'm glad everybody's doing well, I hope. And we're doing a few more boat projects today. And I want to bring you along because we've got an electrical issue. And I want you guys to look at your boats. You don't necessarily have to have a Marinette boat. You could have a trawler. You can have any boat that can be having the same problem that I'm having with your main helm or your flybridge helm with your gauges. It is an electrical issue. And I'm going to take you through the process and hopefully solve my problems and also solve yours. So welcome back and let's take a look. We're going to be diagnosing a engine alarm, and what is happening is right now I got both of my engines are running, and most boats have is an engine alarm. And what that allows is if your exhaust manifold temperatures exceed a certain temperature, it'll actually ground and then cause an alarm to go off. Same with your oil sending unit, it'll go off as well. And that's what I have. Okay, so I've got both engines running. Everything's working good, got plenty of oil pressure on my gauges. Temperatures are just fine. It's just now warming up because I just started them. But this is what, if you've got a boat, most likely you've got an engine alarm. And I've got one alarm for both engines. So this can diagnose which engine is actually causing the alarm, or is it in your wiring harness. So let's check it out. So right here is my engine alarm switch right here, okay? And it's on, okay? So let's go down the engine room and I'll show you what's happening. All right, so this is gonna be my starboard engine, and this is my exhaust manifold temperature alarm sensor. And what I'm gonna do is right now my alarm switch is in the on position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off and ground it. And if you can hear that, that's my alarm going off saying, hey, you've got a problem down on one of your engines. So that is good. Okay, I've got wiring good. I'm not getting any alarms whatsoever. Now back here on my oil sending unit, right here, I've got it disconnected right now. And I'm gonna touch it. I've got alarm, 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 okay? That's on my oil sending unit. Guess what? My engine's running and I've got plenty of pressure. I'm sitting at 60 PSI. And also up on my helm, I'm sitting at right at 65 to 70 PSI. So there's an issue with my oil sending unit is not working right. Okay, now let's check out the port engine. Back over there on the far side, can't really see it, but you can see my finger back there. That's my exhaust sending unit. I'm going to touch it, ground. Alarm, 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 okay? So that's not my issue. Now let's check out the sending unit. Can't really see it because it's on the back side over here, but I'm gonna touch it. Alarm, 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 okay? Guess what? I've got good oil pressure. Nothing is wrong. So what has most likely happened is they've both gone bad. So now, you may have a short in one of the wires that go to your alarm system, okay? So that's something real important to think about. But it's a really good starting point just to go to your engines while they're running. And if you can do that, what it does, it just saves you a lot of work, okay? So start your engines, go through, check your sending units, pull the wires off, touch them. If, like my oil sending units, alarm switches, they're either the wrong ones or they're both faulty at the same time, which could very well possibly be. They are leaking a little bit of oil on each one, so that's a very good sign that they are just about ready to go anyway. Now, what if you do that and none of your sensors are bad, okay? Then what you need to do is start looking at your wiring loom, your wiring harness running from your engines up to your helms, up to your alarm panel switches, to verify that you don't have a wire that's grounding either to the engine block somewhere, or to, like my boat, I've got an aluminum hull bolt. It could be grounding to the hole somewhere, and or is it just a issue going up into the switch panel itself? But this is going to be the easiest way to find out where your error is and your problem is in your alarm system on your boat. And this hopefully can help somebody else out there and save you a little time and a little headaches, and on most importantly, to make sure that your boat is operating safely and you can trust your gauges and trust, most importantly, your alarm system on your engine. Okay, so let's expand a little bit more on these sending units and the wiring system itself, okay? It's this simple. First of all, you have to understand that if you will go down the engine room and disconnect your sending unit wires to all of your sending units, okay, and then go turn your alarm system on, guess what? You should not hear an audible alarm. If you are hearing an audible alarm and you've disconnected all of your wires off of your sending units, you have got a ground somewhere within your wiring harness. That could be on your engine somewhere, or it could be in your wire loom going up to your helm or to your fly bridge. So if you're hearing an audible alarm, now's the time to go down your engine, kind of move around your wiring harness, your engine loom harness, and see if that audible alarm goes off. If it does, then that means that you've got a short somewhere, or it could be like myself, I've got an aluminum hole. Maybe it's grounding on the aluminum hole somewhere, okay? But if it's not that, okay, you've disconnected all of your sending units and you do not hear an alarm, now start your engines, okay? Now while the engines are started, go through each sending unit and start reconnecting the wires. As soon as you connect to a sending unit that's bad, you're gonna hear the alarm, okay? Especially on a cold engine, because you know it's not hot. So, and then if you've got an oil pressure gauge like I do, you know that you've got oil pressure, then you're gonna isolate and find exactly which sending unit is at fault, and then you can replace it. Hopefully that clarifies a little bit better, and give you a little bit more detail on that information. All right, everybody, so let's take a look at the oil sending units themselves. The one on the right is made for a gauge. And this one here actually controls my main helm gauge and also my fly bridge oil pressure gauge. So it's a dual purpose. It'll serve and activate two gauges on my boat. Now this one, which is screwed in just to the side of this one on another port, is also an oil sending unit. This one controls my buzzer, okay? And that's what you're hearing me test in the video. Now, something to keep in mind is when you go to purchase something like this, you need to make sure you tell the parts store what you're looking for. Number one, they may ask you, do you have a light or a gauge, okay? And like myself, I have a buzzer, but let me tell you, a light and a buzzer are the same thing. So you may not confuse the parts store guy. Just tell them, say, yeah, I've got one for a light. It will do the same and activate the buzzer as well. So, and what the difference is this oil sending unit at rest with no oil pressure is open in the middle. That means that continuity can't flow from this side to this side. That means that the switch is not closed, so it would be normally open. The one that you need for a light or a buzzer would be normally closed. That means that continuity would flow from this side to this side. And then as your pressure builds, your oil pressure builds, it would disconnect the continuity and then would break the continuity, and then it would be open. And that's what you want, because you want oil pressure to hold this open so it can't ground to the engine. Because as soon as your oil pressure drops to say below 6 pounds, this switch would close, and then it would allow it to ground through this body, through the engine, and then it would then turn on the light or your buzzer on your helm. So I hope that kind of breaks it down a little bit more for everybody. There are different types of sending units, and it's very important to make sure that when you go to get replacements that you do get the right ones, so that you have a properly and correctly operating alarm system for your engines. Okay, so I've got my new oil sending unit in, and I'm just going to show you the difference between a normally open and a normally closed sending unit. As you can see, these look very similar. This is the ones that I actually have on my boat, and this is the one that I've just ordered. Very similar. It's a one terminal, and I've got my negative to the blade side of this oil sending unit, and I'm just going to touch it. And as you can see, we have continuity through this. So what that means is this oil sending unit is normally closed. This is the one that I need for my boat, and this is the one that I have on my boat. Well, everybody, thanks for watching today. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully you guys have learned something, because I did, and I'm going to be able to fix my problem and make my alarm go off and have an operating system that is correct. So if you guys don't mind, hit the like and subscribe button for me. There's going to be a lot of videos coming, just a little bit about my boat and a little bit about my life and everything else. So hope you all enjoyed the video, and we will see you soon. Bye.